The St. Louis city leaders and police are pleading to the public to come forward with information. It follows the murder of 12 children under the age of 16 in the city just this year. I met with authorities and the Boys and Girls Club, and they explored opportunities and ways to end violence. It's been a deadly summer in St. Louis. At least a dozen children 16 years old or younger have been fatally shot, and there have been few updates on the cases and no suspects. The wave of deaths has seen increased national attention. Saturday, Alderman Brandon Bosley held a community forum to discuss the recent gun violence. St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner attended the forum along with residents and police.
When you see a tragic, anyone's life being cut off, and you know anything about that, we have to come forward because that's about holding individuals accountable who would take a life.
It's been a stain on our city for a long time, and it's taken a while for the residents to really wake up and really want to wipe that stain clean and understand that they have a part to play, and they're really, they're willing to play that role.
Gardner's office announced this week that charges have been filed for the murder of a teen who was killed recently in St. Louis. Joseph Rennick is accused of fatally shooting 15-year-old Santonio Cox. Court papers indicate Santonio was backing away from Rennick with his hands up when he was shot in the head. And there's a new twist in the case involving the murder of 7-year-old Xavier Usanga. The evidence surrounding the man who allegedly confessed to the crime is not adding up. Prosecuting attorney Kim Gardner says the confession isn't fully supported by the current physical and or eyewitness evidence. 23-year-old Malik Ross is in federal custody on charges unrelated to Xavier's killing. Xavier was shot in the backyard of his Hyde Park home while playing with his sisters nearly 2 weeks ago. Meanwhile, Ross remains in federal custody for the armored car theft.
As a prosecutor, we have to look at evidence, and right now those cases are under investigation. There is charges in one case, but as things come in and people continue to talk and we continue to strengthen our investigation, it's still a work in progress.
And one of those murdered children would have turned 10 years old today. The high school football coach here at Sodan High School tells me that everything was going great last night with the football game and the jamboree. He says he looked over and noticed various fights breaking out, and that's when chaos erupted.
I was heartbroken, very heartbroken, that a child would shoot another child.
8-year-old Journey Thompson's father is trying to come to grips with losing his daughter. Thompson had just started 3rd grade at Herzog Elementary. Her father says that Journey was excited about the new school year and was a precious and bright little girl.
Journey was a smart, intelligent, helpful young lady.
After the jamboree ended, someone started to fight, and my understanding it was 2 young ladies that started to fight. And then from there, it just continued to explode.
No football players were involved, and reportedly sufficient security and police were in place.
That incident occurred because of pretty much societal type problems. We have this all over the country. Anytime that you get a number of teenagers together in one location, then there's going to be some type of conflict. At that age, anything can set it off.
Police responded to help with the crowd control and thought they had cleared the area when they heard gunshots about a block away in the 1100 block of Union. And that's when first responders found a young Journey with a gunshot wound, also 2 16-year-old boys and a 64-year-old woman wounded. A veteran former firefighter rushed to the aid of Journey when he noticed she had been shot, but she did not survive.
You could tell she wasn't going to make it. I mean, I will never forget that as long as I live. The look in her face, looking up at me, and you could just see the life leaving her. I didn't sleep good at all last night. I kept having nightmares about it.
There is a message from the victim's family for the person responsible for the deadly shooting.
Journey can't be replaced. So if you got any remorse, any respect for yourself, I would turn it in.
Police say they do not have a motive or a suspect in custody. The investigation is ongoing, but they encourage anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers. In North St. Louis, I'm Kelly Hoskins.